Hello, beautiful people. I am finally on a retreat for writing. When I tell you it has been so long since I've been on a writing retreat, I guess really just a year. About a month ago, I finished the first draft of my book. There's this rule, well, I don't know if it's a rule, but it's something that I do, where you take a good chunk of time off before you revisit, you work on something else, and then you come back. So I haven't even touched my book. Like, I haven't even read the last scene that I wrote at like midnight. I haven't looked at it, but I did print it off. And so now I'm going back in and I get to revisit it just in peace and quiet on this beautiful lake. I scheduled a little retreat for myself in a tiny house on a lake. There's so much like natural light and it's the perfect size. I know it's really important to have goals when you go on a retreat or when you dedicate time to write. My one concrete goal is to do a full read through of my manuscript, taking notes throughout, just like identify any plot holes. I changed characters' names like halfway through the book, so identifying all of that kind of stuff, not doing anything line level, but big developmental plots that I see. And then I'm also gonna take this book, because I outlined to the Save the Cat beat structure, and I think I might have gone a little bit off from it, which is fine, but I'm gonna like beat it out. After I finish it, I'm gonna write a summary of what the book is and kind of go through it beat by beat to make sure everything like character motivations, plot developments, like all of that lines up and has like a good narrative arc. I think they say to write like a 2-page summary and then a 2-paragraph summary, and then identify all the negative things, identify all the positive things, and then make a plan for revision. That's kind of a weird goal to have on a writing retreat. Oftentimes I'll try to go on a retreat when I have like a big, like I'm on a first draft or I'm on a rewrite and I'm like fully can just write 20,000 words in a weekend. It's much more relaxed, which like personally I need to. I'm also hoping to do a 24-hour readathon on my last day, so check that out. I'm so excited. So yeah, I bought like a ridiculous amount of food that I should not have bought that much, but you let me loose at Aldi when I'm hungry and have an excuse to buy like fun snacks, and I did go a little crazy. So what I am started doing is doing my read through, and it's always reassuring to go through a read through and feel like, yeah, this is good, and not feel like everything you've written is garbage. But to be fair, I'm only at the beginning, and I know I had a lot more care in my sentence structure and my scene structure at the beginning, and then in the middle, act 2, it kind of falls apart a little bit, and then I think it kind of comes back together. So I'm interested to see where that goes, but it should be a great couple of days. I also got very into Survivor. I am on the last episode now on my lunch break. I'm very addicted. It's actually really interesting from like a character study perspective, like people's motivations and like social interaction. It's actually been really interesting to research. So
I love seeing people cry when you crush their dreams.
I've been reading my book all morning, and I also want to like read other books, but it's hard when the part that you're doing, the part of the process is like reading, because then it's like going and reading something else isn't really a break because it's like the same type of work. So there's a lot of typos and there's a lot of like paragraph level stuff where it's like I just find myself describing things the same way over and over and over and over again. You may be seeing me eat this orange and be like, wow, well, this is so healthy. She's eating an orange. Like, she must be just having this wellness retreat. See above the fridge, there's a little blue. Things we're not gonna talk about. This hair situation, can't decide if it's like voluminous, flowy supermodel or just like cabin in the woods, crazy woman. I think it's maybe somewhere between. Where are we at? Great question. I'm just finishing up my read through. I have literally like 10 pages left. I just wanted to go straight from the ending into my next stage, so I just left a little bit before I ate lunch. I'm actually shockingly feeling really good about it, which is very strange because normally in a first draft, like when I'm writing a first draft, it feels great and then I revisit it and I'm like, this is kind of garbage. And I kind of felt the opposite. Like as I was writing it, I was like, this is not great. And then as I was reading it, I was like, but the plot is there. And I think this is really the first time I've ever gone into a first draft with a really solid, like, save the cat kind of outline where it actually does follow the 3-act structure and everything has been plotted out and makes sense and has like clear character things beforehand, which I've always been really hesitant to do because like I don't want to write it before I write it, you know? My last project I worked on when I sent it off to betas, which I did pretty early on before I really did a big revision, there were so many things falling apart. Like the romance plot was falling apart and the plot didn't make sense. And there was also a lot going on in that book. There was like 2 realities, and in both realities there was like all this different stuff happening, and there was also a murder. It was too much, but it ended up just taking a long time. I like where it ended, and that's what I'm querying right now. So hopefully someone else likes it too. This is not that. This is there's an A plot, there's a B plot, there's a C plot, and not focus so much on like having it be this big, like groundbreaking piece of literature, rather like making it important and good based on the relationships and making the relationships feel really real. Because with those big, long, complicated plots, I'm not a good enough author yet to like also make the characters shine through and also make you care about everything. I'm focusing more micro on it, which is funny because it's still like there's still a conspiracy and all these different things. I don't think A plot, B plot, and C plot make sense for this story. There's a romantic plot, there is a mystery plot, and there is a thriller plot. I know that those sound like they should be the same thing. There's one conflict that's really present that we're actively fighting against. There's one conflict where it's like, that's weird. Like new hints and clues are coming up throughout and it's kind of separate. And then there's also romance happening. And they all like blend together, of course. And then in the end, they're all combined. I feel really strong about the romance plot. And I feel really strong about the thriller plot. And the mystery is like, I think the ending is solid. But like that's the only really big rewrite I'm seeing is, and it's not even rewriting, it's just like infusing like an actual interesting mystery that makes sense within the context of what is already happening. I feel like I kind of plugged it in a little bit, but it's important for like the ending of the book so that there is like twists and turns and stuff. So I just really need to figure out like what order do I do this in? Do I do that thing where you go back from the beginning and write it all through? I think what I'd have to do is solidify what plot points I'm adding in. I thought I was probably gonna have to do that and like actually write every word from the beginning because I thought it was all gonna be garbage, but I don't really feel that way. So I think what I'll do, I'll have like my current manuscript up and a different manuscript, like a blank canvas next to it, or do a good amount of copy and pasting. I'll probably fix some line level stuff. This is just me making the action plan right now. So that's what's happening. After I solidify that and all the things make sense, and I've like really fortified the ending, then I will give it to people for feedback after only draft 2. You guys let me know how you guys generally do that, because I always feel like I give my work to beta readers too early. Like I give it and then I'm like, well, I probably should have like done more to that first. We're gonna see. Anyway, one thing I was doing while I was reading through, I had these see-through sticky notes. Look at that, they're see-through. And you can see the text underneath. And so I have yellow, orange, and clear. Clear is just for any like spontaneous ideas I came up with. Yellow, I would write a basic summary at the end of each chapter. When I say summary, I mean more like where did we move in the plot, where did we move in the characters, any big overarching things. And then orange was any like new plot lines I wanted to add, but they're so bougie. And they were so much cheaper than the regular Post-it notes. When I tell you, these were $1.99. I mean, there's not very many of them, but like I don't need 100.
Sticker clips are fun, they are safe, they are handy.
So let's just run through the checklist one more time, okay? Finish reading through, I have 10 pages left. Well, probably 40. Feels like it's the same. About 40 pages left. Write a 2-page summary, including the plot points, the beat sheet, situation from Save the Cat. Write down the main strengths, the main weaknesses, and then formulate an action plan. So solidify what are we adding into the new draft, and kind of organize a plan, like a timeline of when I would like to be done with that draft. If you have something mean to say about my hair, I don't want to hear it. Okay, thanks. Editing Alyssa here. Just finished editing that quick video up. And I thought the timing of this, it's gonna come out on the second day of Camp Nano. So I thought I would just update you about what my plans are now. It's been about a week since that retreat. And I also realized I did not film an outro. So here's this. My camp plan. I've never actually done Camp Nanowrimo, and to be honest, I don't think I've ever done the official Nanowrimo. Like I've done it where I wrote the right amount of words and everything, but I don't think I ever like actually registered my project. Like no one at Nanowrimo would know that I did Nanowrimo, but I did it myself. Today I'm gonna go on to camp and see what the tea is over there. I don't know if I'm really going to use their software just because I don't have a word count goal kind of situation right now. I know that camp is more designed to be more flexible. Also, just for all of you who don't know what Camp Nanowrimo is, it's essentially a month where writers come together to work on projects, but it's not as structured as Nanowrimo where you write 50,000 words in 1 month. It's more just like you set a goal and then you work on it, and it's a time where writers all over the world are working on. So it's kind of motivating to do it together. Anyway, so my plan for camp is write through the whole manuscript again. I think I can do it in a month.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
So there are 23 chapters of the book. So I'm gonna do 6 chapters a week. So about a chapter a day is gonna be my goal for camp, is to write my way through 6 chapters a week. Yeah. And again, most of it is gonna be pretty quick. Well. There's a whole mystery I kind of need to plant all of the details for, so that might take a little bit longer than I expect. So I do plan on doing camp weekly writing vlogs that come out on Sunday if I can. I'm not gonna guarantee anything, but my current content strategy plan situation is to post a main video on Thursday and then a camp update writing vlog sort of situation on Sundays that are a little more low-key. But the Thursday videos are gonna be, I have a couple of reading vlogs. I would like to do my reading wrap-ups, maybe some of the writing experiments. Miss Colleen Hoover is on my agenda. I've got her nailed down, don't you worry. So if you're interested in any of that stuff or following along for more writing updates, or just to hang out with me while I write, I don't know, maybe you wanna do that. Feel free to subscribe, smash that little like button. Put a little subscribe, join us. Once we get to 500, come on team, we can make it happen. I'm gonna come up with a name for all of you. Is that something people want? Is it cringe? I don't know, let me know. Okay, goodbye.